everyone, welcome back to Screaming Geek Media. I am Jerry the Geek. Today we got another Superman coming for you. We got Superman 2 we're going to talk about. But before we do, if you like physical media, 4Ks, Blu-rays, and DVDs, if you like home theater, movies in general, check out my other videos on my channel. Like, subscribe, and turn your bell notifications on. So today we're going to talk about the 4K of Superman 2. And of course, we got two versions we're going to talk about, the original theatrical and the Richard Donner cuts. The original theatrical movie, it came out in 1980. PG, got all the cast members returning from the first one. Christopher Reeve, Margot Kidder, Gene Hackman, Ned Beatty, Marlon Brando, and others. It was started with Richard Donner directing, and something happened between him and the producer, so he was fired. And they brought in Richard Lesser. He finished it, and they scrapped a lot of stuff that Donner done and reshot a lot of stuff, changed things around. So over the years, people started hearing about that. Fans started demanding to see some of their Richard Donner footage. So they actually scoured the globe, and I think they found a lot of stuff across Europe and all over. And they found all these old prints, and they basically spliced, reconstructed it. And then in 2006, I actually released the Richard Donner cut. Now, my take on it, everyone talks about, the Richard Donner cuts, his vision, what he wanted. It is drastically different than a theatrical. A lot of stuff is in there. It was unchanged, but you'll see a lot of stuff moved around, taken out, put back in. It was a lot to take in. I think I've seen it once. So growing up with a theatrical, and you go to watch this one right after, it's pretty drastic. And honestly, for me, it's actually hard to pick one over the other. Some of you might say blasphemy, why would I want to see the theatrical, but it is what it is. There's good and bad about both, honestly. The Donner cut, it's got a different beginning, different ending. There's, scenes throughout the movie that was changed. I'm not saying it's bad, just a little different. It's hard to get used to if you're used to watching the theatrical. One of the things that I can't really say what really disturbed me about the ending, since just in case any of you have not watched the Richard Donner cut, I don't want to give away anything. But yeah, the ending, there was part of that was kind of scratching my head. I guess I'm not enough of a diehard fan to know what things are supposed to be. I've always been kind of a casual Superman fan. I enjoy the movies. Now, for the 4K release here, these two actually came as part of the set. 4 movies, actually 5 if you count the Richard Donner cut. So it was really confusing when they first announced this. They're saying 5-movie collection, but we don't get Superman Returns in this set, which kind of sucks. That is part of the same, the franchise, the storyline, and just because it wasn't Christopher Reeve, and plus I think the whole Kevin Spacey, Bryan Singer issues, that's probably the other reason why it wasn't included. But anyways, these came out earlier this year in 2023. The movie was filmed, originally on 35mm, finished with a 4K digital intermediate HDR10. Did not have Dolby Vision. The first movie was the only one in this set that has Dolby Vision. I'm not sure why they didn't add that to the rest of them. I'm not sure why. But overall, this is a really nice, solid presentation. Honestly, I think it was a little better than the first one. I mentioned, check out the review of the first one. I talked about how some of it had that kind of filtered haze look to a lot of it. This one, there's not so much of that. There are some scenes, but I think it's a little bit of inconsistency with the added scenes that was like test scenes and just never got properly done. But overall, it's a really nice presentation. The colors really pop. The blacks are really solid, look fantastic. Especially on the uniforms of General Zod, Non, and Ursula. All the different textures of the uniforms, the blacks look really, really sweet. Again, not perfect, but really nice. Now comparing this with the Blu-ray, I'm comparing with the Blu-ray from the anthology set that came out in, I think, 2011. I think the last video I mentioned I thought it was 2006, but actually the set came out in 2011. Had all 5 movies, you know, had both cuts of the first one, both cuts of this one. So comparing those, the Blu-ray was definitely, it was decent, but the color timing is a big upgrade for the 4K here. That's what you're going to see the biggest difference. The 4K definitely has a little bit more richer look to it, and it has a little bit more depth in it compared, you know, I mentioned in the first one, the way it was done, it didn't have a lot of depth to the 4K. This one has a little bit more. So here, check out some screenshots comparing the Blu-ray and the 4K. We'll come back and talk about the audio, packaging, and the bonus features. We'll see you in a couple minutes. Now for the audio track, they gave us a Dolby Atmos track here. I don't have Atmos, so I'm stuck with a 5.0 for the moment. But again, like the first one, this is a very solid track overall. Clear dialogue throughout. Some parts seem a little dated, not as well done as the first one, but still really nice. Has some nice use of surrounds, more ambience. Echoes when they're inside the Fortress of Solitude. That really pops out. So you get the sense of actually being there. So pretty impressive track here again. Now for the packaging, they actually separated, you know, the theatrical and the Richard Donner cut. Each one has its own case. And nothing fancy, just different colored artwork for the Blu-ray and the 4K. And the same on the other one. Nothing fancy. Again, it was part of the big set here. Now for the bonus features, we'll go over the theatrical. They actually have different features on each set. So the theatrical set, you know, we got a commentary with executive producer Isla Salkind and producer Pierre Spangler. Then we also got the making of Superman 2, the Fleischer Studios 1940s Superman cartoons. We got a Superman souffle deleted scene and a theatrical trailer. Now for the Richard Donner cut bonus features, you know, we have the commentary by director Richard Donner and creative consultant Tom Mankiewicz. I don't know, I probably fucked that up. And also we have the introduction by Richard Donner, kind of does a little tidbit talking about the putting together all the footage that was found. It was pretty neat. And then we also have deleted scenes, Superman 2 restoring the vision. Then we have also the famous studios 1940s Superman cartoons. But I don't think there's anything really new here. Everything is, you know, on these are, both of them are ported over from Blu-ray, so nothing new. So to wrap it up, these are a nice upgrade over the Blu-rays. Are they perfect? No, they're not what we expect out of 4K, but they are, like I said, they are a big improvement over the Blu-ray. Now you can buy these two as a set without buying this big set. Here's a picture, and I'll have a link below. You can go to Amazon. It's around $32.60 right now. And if you do want the whole set, today it's actually back down to $80.12, where when I filmed yesterday, that was still $85. It went back up to $85. So definitely the price is really fluctuating a lot, so keep an eye on that. So that pretty much does it for my look on the 4K editions of Superman 2 and our Richard Donner cut. Let me know what you think below. Check out my other videos on my channel. Like, subscribe, turn your bell notifications on. And hopefully we'll have the next installment of Superman in the next day or two. We'll see you then. Geek out.